meeting is open. How about the minutes from the last meeting?
I
Has
move that
everybody
we-
had a chance to go through them?
Yeah. I move that we accept the minutes from, October 9th.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Takes care of that. Ah, my fingers are damn cold. My fingers don't work too good. Okay, that's that. First on the agenda, where are we? Hearing requested determination of applicability to New England Power.
You're on.
Gotta look to see where that's going. You're gonna show me.
Yeah, Chestnut.
Is
Yes.
that better than this?
So, my name's Adam Rosenblatt. I'm with VHB here representing.
Wait a minute, Adam. I got your first name, but my ears aren't fast enough for your last name.
There you go. Rosenblatt.
Rosenberg.
Okay.
All right. All right, so we have a very simple project for National Grid. Basically, if you guys are familiar with the west end of town between Chestnut and Maynard Lane, which is a new subdivision road.
North Street.
Yeah.
North Street, yeah.
So there's a right-of-way there that National Grid has an easement for and maintains for 4 different circuits, okay? There's 2, what they call bulk power lines in this right-of-way, and then there's 2 smaller 115 kV lines. So these 2 lines here, the 327 and the 315, those are their bulk power lines, and then they've got the D181 and the C180, sorry, the D182 and C181. I always get dyslexia reading all these numbers off. These are their 115 kV lines. They're proposing to do what's called an OPGW wire replacement on the C181 line within the town of Dayton between structure 159 and 154, which is, I'll flip through the sheets in a moment, but just to sort of give you guys a mental picture of this, the OPGW wire is called an optical ground wire, okay? And these circuits traditionally have 3 sets of phases of bundled conductor on them that hang from insulators on bells. And then on the top of the tower kind of looks like a capital H. On the top of the tower in each of the poles there's a shield wire and then there's an OPGW wire. And all this is existing, it's already out there. And what they need to do is they need to replace the OPGW wire, which is the one at the very top. Between these structures because they're building a new substation in Rehoboth, which is going to be over here. And they need to tie in that OPGW wire, which is both a shield wire and a communication wire, so that the substations can talk to one another and then talk to the control center, wherever that is. So what they need to do is they need to access each of these structures. They're not going to replace the structure. They're just unclipping the wire that's up there now and pulling in a new wire when the substation is built. So what they expect to do inside this box is to mow it.
That what?
In the box.
In this box. So each structure has a box around it. We call that their work area.
Yeah,
And what they'll do is,
a physical box.
no, it's just for graphical purposes. So you can have an idea. They measure about 80 by 100 feet. So it's 100 feet sort of in line with the wires and then 80 feet
80
either
feet
side. Or 80 feet total width, so 40 feet either side of the structure. And what they'll do in here is they'll go in there and they'll mow that with a skid steer or a brush hog or something like that. They won't disturb the soil. And they hope to be able to just drive it grade with a bucket truck, boom up, unclip the wire, do their thing, bring the new wire in, and then drive away and be done. There's an existing access road here which you can get to from a pipe gate at the end of Maynard Lane. There's another entrance up here on Reynolds Avenue, which is in Rehoboth, and then there's one down here at Chestnut Street. There's boulders all around it trying to deter ATV use, but as we all know, there's a lot of it in there anyway. They're hoping that they can just use the access road and boom up from there. If that's determined to be unsafe at the time because they're not sure if they'll have the line out, you might not know if the line have to do it hot, they need sort of ability to sort of move around in this space in order to do it safely, so they can avoid those energized conductors that are beneath it. As we work our way from Maynard Lane down to Chestnut Street, excuse me, there are some wetlands out here. They have been flagged recently, and the expectation is, again, like I mentioned, they're hoping to be able to set up on the access road as much as possible to do this work. If they can't, they're going to come into these areas, like I said, and mow them, and then drive at grade. Down in here, this box here, we call this a wire pull pad. So they have like a spool of wire that they use, and there's some tensioning equipment on that, and that's what they use to pull the wire in for the new segment that they're running in between the station and this structure here, which is where there's a splice box. And that's why they have to do it at this location. Oftentimes, any angle point in the line, there's a splice box there. So they would have this wire pull pad set up so they could bring the wire into the station, either one way or the other, and tie it into this structure and then the station, which is in the home. So the expectation again here is if they can safely set that up in the access road, they're going to do it. But at this time, they're not certain whether or not that's going to be safe enough. So they just want to give themselves a little bit of a buffer here. And if they need a workspace here, what they'll do is use temporary construction matting in there, which are the wood timbers that are bolted together. They lay them out, which spreads the weight of the tensioning equipment out and generally doesn't cause any soil disturbance within the wetland. They take them up when they're done. If they have to do any mulching with straw, they do so. If there's any need for seeding, they'll also do that. But typically, for this short duration type work, this is probably a couple of weeks of work, tops. You know, the mats will be down for about 3 weeks, maybe a month tops. And, you know, when they're down for that short period of time, usually the vegetation just springs right back. So this work that they're doing is basically maintenance work. It's replacing an existing wire. It's exempt as far as, you know, we could interpret through the Wetlands Protection Act. We're just here seeking a negative determination, so we get confirmation that the commission here agrees with that assessment. Hopefully you do, and I'm happy to answer any questions you have about access, work. I'm an environmental guy. I can speak a little bit to construction on the electrical side and do my best. If you have more detailed questions, I'll sort of take them down and I can get back to you with answers, but hopefully I can do a pretty good job at answering anything that you guys might want to know about. So there is obviously some mowing within the 25 and the 50-foot wetland setbacks because the structure is located, you know, fairly close to wetlands, and then the wire pull pad, it has to be a designated distance away from the structure, which is usually 2 times the height of the structure, in order for them to safely make the angle from the ground up to the top of the structure.
And when would this be done?
So the plan right now, or the schedule right now, is the substation construction is starting in the summer of 2020. So they will have to complete that before they're ready to receive this new OPGW wire, which they're anticipating will be sometime of the following spring or summer, 2021.
So there's actually no structures to be replaced, it's just wire work.
Just wire work only in the town of Dayton. There are structures that are getting replaced in Rehoboth, but you guys probably don't care about that. And this does show stabilized construction exits at the end of Maynard Lane, as well as Chestnut Street. That would be basically refurbished. These 2 circuits, the C181 and D182, probably about 2-3 years ago now, were refurbished, and they replaced a lot of structures on those lines through the town. So they had built stabilized construction exits at that time, which is just, you know, a crushed stone track out essentially for their equipment, so they keep all the sediment in the right of way, not on the public street. If any did get to the street, you know, they would sweep it up daily. You know, usually the last guy out's gonna check in his rear view, make sure there's no stone or anything on the road. So they would refurbish this if necessary, as well as the one at the end of Maynard Lane.
Is that line going to continue further south?
These circuits both do, but there's no work further to the south. there will be likely some further work in the town of Dayton potentially when they start working on some of the distribution system upgrades, but that's all typically pole sets along the street sides.
No question.
No questions.
No problem.
It's pretty straightforward.
All you need is a motion.
You,
Well, I'm,
Taking it all in.
yeah, no, I'm not thinking about it. I know the questions I have, about the duration and how long the,
well, that's what he said, a month, and it would start, summer, and then with the station.
Yeah, if they are able to do this without having to install construction mats by way of, using the existing access road that's there, they're probably looking at about a week's worth of work. It'll be very quick. If they do determine that they want to use that wire pull pad and have to mat it, the matting contractor will come in ahead of them, lay the mats down, then they'll come in after him, and then there'll be a step, obviously, when they're done, where the mats get removed, so that will extend things, kind of a week or so on either end of their actual wire work.
I don't think we've ever had anybody working in a wetland that had to lay the mats down that they didn't file an NOI.
Well, he's saying they might not have to.
Well, they might not. That would be good, wouldn't it?
Now, okay, where show us where the Mets might be lower.
So it's this little finger of the BVW over here. This is Chestnut Street.
Okay, is that BVW or is that wetland?
We classified this as BVW.
The green is wetland.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so these are just temporary. I don't know how the town has positioned for other maintenance type actions that the National Grid has performed in the past, but this looked to be of a very short duration in a small area, so that's why we're here with the RGA, hoping that you guys consider that exempt.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, as long as they mat,
If they need to, yeah.
yeah, don't skimp on the mats. I know they don't usually, but,
Oh no, they need to have a stable platform, so
Yeah,
they're
no,
not
no,
gonna
I
make it so
realize
that
that,
stuff's
yeah.
hanging off the edge or there's any unsafe condition, because
I guess that'd all depend on the weather.
a lot of it does, yeah, yep. Winter construction obviously is very different than summer construction, from their perspective. A lot of these wetlands are all perch systems anyway, so they dry out a lot by the time you get to August. Here, this work, the schedule, it's National Grid, and the schedule always changes, because they can't get the line out when they need to, or, there's delays in other parts of construction on the project, but tentatively, they're looking at being in here in the summer of 2021, but if you guys condition RDAs, we could always, keep you informed of the schedule, so that you're aware of that.
Well,
If you need to see
that would
it, we
be
could-
most beneficial
we could tell
to
you
make us
before.
aware, a couple of weeks before you're gonna go in, and then give us a detail on what, are you gonna, you would know if you needed mats at that time.
Yes.
And
yeah.
what's gonna happen.
Yeah, we can absolutely communicate all that with you, that's not a problem.
Be great.
Okay, I move that we give a negative determination to Paul for the project, and to have notification 2 weeks prior to their commencement of work.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
You're all set.
Okay, thank you very much.
Where's that other stuff for this? Let's go with this. No.
Okay, what do we have? Big Red Properties?
Big Red Properties.
You Big Red?
I'm not Big Red, but I'm working for Big Red. How we doing?
Pretty good.
Good.
What's the, Macintosh?
I don't know. Yeah, we're here for Steve Gilbert, SFG Engineer in Lakeville. We're here for a septic repair on 1191 Center Street. We've got a 4-bedroom home here. Here's our BBW. The good thing about this, here's the old system, which is about 25 or 30 feet from the BBW. We're putting the system back here. We've got a high water table, so we're gonna put a new mono tank in, and we're putting a pump chamber. Because of the high water table, they're both gonna be monolithic tanks with hydraulic cement on all the outlets, so there won't be any leakage. We're pumping the system over to this area. We've already been in front of the Board of Health. The green is the fill because we have to raise it up a little bit. They gave us a waiver for 1 less foot of cover, so we were able to drop it down 1 foot lower. At the closest point, the septic system is going to be 72 feet from the BBW, and the filling will be about 60 feet from the BBW.
The wetland, is that on a gas line?
Yeah, partially. The gas, well, the property line is
Center Street's at the top, right?
Center Street's up here, yeah, so the gas line's right here, you're right, correct. Correct, this is the new driveway coming to the house way in back,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joe Tucci.
yes, exactly. And he's Big Red Properties.
Yeah. We named it after Gary. That was
Oh, there
Big
you
Red.
go, okay,
That was Big Red,
that's it, all right, I was wondering where it came from.
yeah, Gary.
We tried to do further back here, we didn't have regular materials, so we had to come closer this way, and that's basically where we ended up. Any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. And again, it's quite an improvement, the old system's about 30 feet, 25 feet from the
That was
wetlands.
the map that was over here, right?
Yeah,
Okay, because I was
you
studying
looking
that
at,
one.
I was here for the Board of Health earlier, that's why.
I can see a
Yeah.
house on William Street.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it isn't, you got this, that says William Street, that's Center Street you're supposed to be on,
Oh,
right?
all right. That'll help.
Isn't
Yeah,
this
yeah.
Center Street?
Yes, yes, I
That's Center
apologize
Street.
for that,
That's
it's
Center
Center
Street,
Street,
Okay.
there's a
It's just-
typo,
It's, the gas line right here.
yes.
All right, that's where it comes out on Center.
It's
Yeah.
right after, if you look at the locus, it's just, look at the locus, it's a little bit past Briggs.
Briggs Street's right over
Okay.
Yeah,
here.
your mother's here.
Yeah, Briggs Street's there.
There's a locus right here, Bill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so William Street, I'm thinking up in the
I-
corner, that historical
I
society.
apologize, it's Center Street, that's a typo.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we're here for Center Street, right here, 1191 Center Street, don't pay attention to that,
Okay.
I apologize.
I was looking for a house right up where the Historical Society is.
Oh.
Yeah.
I know what you mean, yeah, up at that corner,
Yeah,
yeah.
there's no house there. Okay,
Right church, wrong pew.
yeah.
I have no questions.
Oh.
No, fix it.
Okay, I make a motion that we issue a negative determination for the septic repair.
I second.
To follow plans as
All
drawn.
in favor?
Follow plans as drawn.
On 1191 Center Street.
I did.
Second, I made the motion.
I said all in favor?
Me, aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, gentlemen,
Have a good night.
have a nice night.
Notice of intent, Antone Roberts, where is he? Does he want a continuance?
Yeah, Roderick, asked for a continuance to 12/11. Bob Berry, we called this afternoon and said they didn't have a plan ready yet. I'll make a motion, we continue the hearing until 12/11.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, I can't wait to see them plans.
Second,
Yeah,
Jack,
yeah.
Get a house in there.
you guys wish it. No, we have
These
the
are my questions.
technical problem.
I'll go over it later.
Ron, Brendan Fanick is going to be presenting the next 4 or 5 hearings. He's not here.
Who?
Brandon
Brandon.
Phantom.
Fanick.
Okay.
He's had a commitment till 7 o'clock, and he said he will get here, but he may not get here on time. He asked that if we had any further business to
To skip over him,
jump right over.
okay.
And the jumping goes right to certificates of compliance. We have 3 requests for certificates of compliance. One from Andrew Dyer, another from Carl Robello for an extension, and one from Paul Bassett. Dyer is on Park Avenue. He's completed his house, he's completed the wall into the river. He's also got approval from Division of Waterways to build his pier eventually. Cal Ravello is an ORAD. We issued an ORAD for Milk Street. And it expires this month, later this month. He wants to extend it to a couple of years. And the third one is Keith Bassett, a relative of his own 2109 Water Street. It was McGain, apparently he's passed away, and this guy wants to close off the property, needs certificate of compliance. We gave an order of conditions in 2013.
Okay,
And
let's take,
septic- For a septic repair, it's been repaired since then.
okay, let's do it one by one then. I'll make a motion that we issue a certificate of compliance to Andrew Dyer at 2673 Park Avenue. Can I have a second? No.
Second. Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Okay. Okay, on the second one, I'll make a motion to issue an extension order for the ORAD
To
Given to-
11/15/21, 2021.
given to Carl Rebello to be extended to 2021.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Okay. On the third one, I make a motion that we issue a certificate of compliance to Keith L. Bassett for septic repairs at 2109 Water Street.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now, we have something that's not on the agenda, but it came in late this afternoon on my email. The Bristol County Aggie High School project, they sent an email, they're going to extend a water line. And the water line has a minimal encroachment in a 100-foot buffer zone of a delineated wetland. And the guy wondered whether he had to file for that or whether we would grant administrative approvals.
Show us something, Charlie.
Here's the plan.
Yeah.
It shows where the water line incurs in the wetland.
I got one more
Doesn't seem like
sign here
it's
somewhere.
time to hold that obligation.
We need to have a motion on number 8. We need a motion on number 8 because we don't have proofs on that.
We never looked at it yet.
Okay. That's all.
That's what it is.
Okay.
Wow.
Maybe we can, maybe put in the cards until,
My Aggies.
And you missed one.
didn't
Brian Basterak.
Who?
Brian Basterak, he wants to come to the commission to,
Oh, so we skipped over, it, yeah. We skipped over it. I get that stuff you have to sign.
okay.
We had a
Well,
request.
there we go, I see.
Jim can explain it to you. He got the request by email.
I'll wait till everyone's set.
What, did we do this, discuss the letter we received from DCR?
That doesn't look like it's a file, goddamn.
So why did Brian single you out, Jim?
Okay, well, I know Brian through the
Well,
Chestnut
why don't we
Foundation.
do this
Right.
first?
What?
Can we approve this administratively? I'll send him an email telling him that we discussed it tonight,
Yeah.
and he doesn't have to file an RDA.
Oh, wait, what are you talking about now?
I'm talking about what I just
Water.
explained. The water line that's being extended in Bristol County.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, it's only a little incursion,
okay. All right, that's the Bristol Aggie itself.
yes.
Okay,
Well, I'll make a motion that we give administrative approval for this slight incursion into a buffer zone for a water line extension at Bristol Aggie.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Good evening.
Okay. Okay, we got, that's done. That's done. This is done.
Oh, we just haven't discussed that letter.
No, we also have to turn back. Yeah,
Oh, we went over that, we skipped a lot to get through
yeah, I
this
know,
stuff.
I know. Okay, what is that letter?
What's his last name? Last name?
Who?
Rosenblatt. Nice Jewish name.
Thought he was an Irish guy, but thought he was an Irish guy.
Irish.
We're winding down.
I was just waiting for Brandon. He was Brandon for New Ecosystems.
Ah,
He went next door like I did,
oh,
so he's coming right over.
Okay.
Thank you.
yeah, he hasn't
You
been
wanna go
over
through
here.
that,
No, I haven't. I've only been to your guys' meeting next
We
door.
got the legacy thing here,
This is our-
Forest, and we got,
I like this building. I've been down all over the building department, so.
A long time
I
ago,
tried to get him
Green Hill.
involved 5-6 years
Maybe
ago,
it was
and I'm glad.
Town hall back in the old
picked it
days, I'm not sure.
I'm not
this
sure
is the
either.
Terrapin?
Yeah.
So you guys meeting from here from now on?
Yeah,
All right, good enough.
Yeah, well, because of the chestnuts, he was at the house, and I see him every
you
once in a
wanna
while.
take care of,
No,
Okay.
he emailed me all that stuff too.
Oh, okay. Brian Basterak emailed me requesting to make a presentation to the commission on the Diamondback terrapins, a turtle in the Taunton River, and I guess certain distances from it. And so he wished to be put on our agenda to make this presentation. And do you wish to hear this presentation? And
yeah,
when would,
sure, why not?
okay, so when would be the best time? Next month?
Yeah,
You gotta check with him.
Well, I'll give him the date, he's got a month to clear his calendar.
because the part of the turtle habitat is on conservation
Yeah.
restricted land.
Yeah. It's on property we own on the marsh. The old railroad bed.
Oh,
I tried to get him into it 5 or 6 years ago, and here he is.
Okay, so we will accept his presentation on our December, I got it here, December 11th meeting. Okay, I will email him and tell him that his presentation is to be made at, what,
okay.
roughly 7:30 or so, or there, no, 8 o'clock?
Oh, we could hear them right up front. Because most of the hearings that we're hearing from Brandon tonight are gonna be continued. There were no file numbers. So that's gonna be on the agenda next month. Plus probably
Rodericks?
Roberts, and if he has to suffer through all those, he'll go back home angry.
Okay, presentation at 7:30.
And make everybody else, make these guys wait.
Okay. He's gotta get paid for it, so he doesn't care.
He's resting up right now, so he's doing all right.
You gonna notify him, Jim?
I'll take care of it.
Good.
12, 11, 19 at 7:30.
We need a motion for that? No?
Okay. Were we gonna do anything, we're gonna go to Brandon now, are we gonna do that law thing that,
After
we get after it, okay, we'll get Brandon now. Okay, what do we got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 properties?
Yeah. Used to be one, now it's, gonna be what, 10?
Yeah, some have been filings, but
Lot 3, lot 4, lot 6, lot 7 rather,
Yes.
lot
John
9,
Valley,
lot 10.
eighth grade.
Oh, okay.
My brothers and sisters, how are you? Long time no see.
Many, many years, that's
Look
right.
familiar, and I've heard your name. That's
Yeah, it is.
Same
Okay,
man.
Brandon.
Want him?
Sure. All the brothers and sisters.
7th grade.
Which lot you wanna do
And then
first?
mine. Kids went through there, and now my grandsons are 2 years away.
You'll do them in order like
My
that,
kids
from
went
lowest to
through there.
highest.
Had Michaela,
Lowest to highest.
well, Michael did, Jennifer, my kids probably after you.
You figured I had 6,000 kids over the years, yeah. But you, I remember.
Yeah, I try not to be the last impression.
No, but I don't remember, it was just the name pops in.
remember.
The name pops in, and when you said the other names, it's not.
Nice to see you.
I don't have it. Now, I get on this commission,
Hey, guys,
it's
wake up.
7 o'clock.
You,
7 o'clock.
you can have that.
Catching up to you guys with the weight ones.
Take, let's start a fire.
Okay.
What I will do is put this one out on the table because, again, my name's Brandon Fana for the microphone. I have John Duvalli here. He's the applicant on a few of these, not all of them, but on a few of them.
All but one.
Yeah, all but lot 10, I believe.
No, you're not. That
You all lot 10? I forget, there's so many, I can't remember.
8 or 9.
This is Prairie lot 9,
Yeah.
okay.
This is lot 6-3, 6-3, 4, 7. 7,
Going
10,
order. Yep.
and 9 is Prairie.
Correct.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lots here, okay. You don't have file numbers on any of them?
Correct.
Share that with Bill, will you?
What?
He will, when it's time, he will.
Okay.
Good, good.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so these lots have all been officially subdivided. They're all Form A lots. There used to be 2 lots. Used to be map 6, lots 6 and 7, and now they have their own lot numbers. The lot that we're talking about first is this lot right here. Here's the whole shebang. We're talking about this one with this yellow outline. So it's got it's a retreat lot with frontage on Oak Street. So that,
All right.
yeah, that handle right there goes out to
Okay,
Oak Street.
so there is, okay, so there's a lot here which is not part of it. Okay, I got it, okay.
Well, the lots to the south and to the north are part of the overall subdivision.
Okay, I know exactly where we are.
Yeah,
That's a good thing.
Lot 3 is the furthest south on Oak Street.
Yeah, but that needs a permit from conservation, yes. Okay, so, we did a ANRAD on this property earlier in the year. It was done under DEP file number 17-406. And that was issued in, is it late 2018, early 2019? So the order of resource area condition, delineation is still valid. In it, we had a bordering vegetated wetland, and in the middle, we had a blue line, which ended up being a perennial stream, and MARTA reviewed the line and reviewed the application, helped you to issue the ORAD. Okay, so our wetland boundaries are well established. So now at this point, John went in and he went and did the A&Rs, got the lots subdivided. We've got a few retreat lots, but now it's time to show the proposed construction. They're all single-family house lots. Okay? On this particular lot, we have a long driveway going to a single-family house with a septic system. This one has municipal water service, okay? And a recreational yard and associated grading. A portion, in order to get this done in a reasonable manner, to give them enough room to have a reasonable yard and get what's done, needs to be done, they had to go into the riverfront area a little bit. All right, so we've got a single-family house, a 20-foot wide gravel driveway. Yeah, the driveway's gonna be a gravel driveway.
okay, here it is here.
That's right, yeah. Goes right
Okay.
down through that handle.
Okay, now how long is this driveway?
I think it's a little, I think this runs about 290 or 210.
Okay.
So it's close to 300, so that's why we have to
Do you have
do.
a turnaround?
Yeah, they are requiring us to be 20 feet wide and the turnaround.
Okay, no, so long as you know that.
No, oh yeah, we've
No?
learned. Yep,
Okay.
good question, yep.
Right. So the construction is shifted as far towards Oak Street as we possibly could, within reason. I think you can see that. You're not gonna be able to fit anything within the handle itself where it's narrow. I performed a riverfront analysis, and to be compliant with that, and a lot of this is gonna apply to all the lots that we see. One section is that, in order to comply with the riverfront regulations, you also have to protect all other resource areas. And I want to point out that we're not going to be affecting any other resource areas, which is the BVW. We're staying out of that. And we are also, none of these properties are in rare or endangered species habitat. So there's no natural heritage issues. Okay. I performed a new build analysis. Of course, the whole purpose is to try to get a single-family house, so having no build doesn't really comport with the purpose of the project. The current layout keeps all construction as far east towards Oak Street as possible. And we have a house of modest size, and we think it's a reasonable proposal for a single-family house, a single-family house lot. The next section is what we call the no significant adverse impact section of the riverfront area. And in it, the regulations state that within 200-foot riverfront areas, the issuing authority, you, may allow the alteration up to 5,000 square feet or 10% of the riverfront area within the lot, whichever is greater, on a lot recorded on or before October 6, 1997, subject to the restrictions of some other regulations, or up to 10% of the riverfront area on a lot recorded after October 6, 1997. These are obviously last recorded after 1997. They were recorded this year. So up to 10%. With a caveat that at a minimum, a 100-foot wide area of undisturbed vegetation is provided. And that has to start at the mean annual high water line, unless there's a better location that you feel it should start from, but that hardly ever happens. And in this case, we absolutely, in all these cases, we absolutely positively have a 100-foot undisturbed strip of land that is in the mean annual high water. In fact, in most cases, we have 150 plus feet.
I would pass
The report.
the analysis.
Yeah. So in this case, this lot has 920,000 square feet of riverfront area. What you see before you proposes 10,700 square feet of disturbance, so that's 9.9%. So we're just under the 10% threshold. We have more than 100 feet of undisturbed area. So that's what we're hoping.
Rivers here?
The river goes through the middle. There's a big marsh there
Yeah.
with a wide annual floodplain. That's what Marty wanted us to get. We feel that the proposed work does not impair the capacity of the river to provide important wildlife functions. Work will not result in an impairment of the capacity to provide vernal pool habitat because there were no vernal pools on this site. For work within an undeveloped riverfront area which exceeds 5,000 square feet, the issuing authority may require wildlife habitat evaluation. I personally, I'm a certified wildlife biologist. I don't feel that that is particularly necessary in this case. We are keeping our impacts to a minimum as much as possible. The habitat offered here is what you see be typical red maple swamp, oak pine forest. There's no vernal pools. And my opinion is that it's nothing, it's good habitat, but it's nothing that's out of the ordinary. So again, my opinion is that we're not going to have adverse impact on wildlife habitat. There's no vernal pools, and the other thing is that the work shall not impair groundwater or surface water quality by incorporating, because we're going to be incorporating soil erosion and sedimentation controls along the limit of disturbance.
What's the scale on here, Brad?
Scale is 1 to 40.
Oh, there it is, okay, all right, I was looking, okay.
Yeah.
Now, this line right here is, oh, it's outer riparian? That's the 200 foot?
We got a little bit of yeah, we got a,
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, you got a green, you got a yellow, you got a pink,
So
and a red.
that's the outer riparian
So that's
zone.
200?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and so this is the 100.
that,
Oh, this one here is the 100.
correct. That's your 100.
Okay, all right. 3 inch, oh, that was that. That must be right here, because that's, well, no, not necessarily, okay. All right,
It's just, there's a lot of this, the outer riparian zone where they're not even touching. So basically, in order to fit in, we're trying to squeeze it as far close to the
Yeah,
road as possible,
yeah.
which means that we gotta fit it up in that corner.
so try to get 100, so really what you're trying to do is giving yourself 120 foot of yard around the house, is essentially what you're
If
doing.
you're comfortable with it.
No, that's what you're trying to do, I'm saying.
Yeah,
Yeah, 120 feet. Okay.
We keep it under the 10% threshold with that.
Okay.
And you can't say it on this map, but on the locust map that shows all the lots. There's also a section of land down here by the gas line easement. There's a whole section of riverfront area and BVW down on this end that's never even gonna be touched.
So this right here is this one right here.
Yep, it's up in this corner right here.
And this is over here, okay.
Yep.
Yep, right here.
That's right.
Okay. All right. Doesn't, Oak makes a sharp corner here too, doesn't it, somewhere here?
Let's do this.
Yeah, no, but I'm just looking how that is, okay. All right.
You all done measuring
Yeah,
up this one?
no, I know what's going on there.
Okay, good.
No, we don't have file numbers for any of these.
No, I know, but I know what's going on.
Right. And you can think on it for the next, what, month?
Will there be an issue with the DEP?
I doubt it.
I didn't think so.
I laid out, you know, the riverfront analysis, which is one of the things they like to see whenever you're in riverfront area. If they do, they'll put it in the comments when issuing the file number.
Well, they did issue a file number for one of these lots and withdrew it.
They withdrew it.
Yeah. They issued a file number. I found it on their website. But went on their website today, there is no file number. Because all of these have been amended and resubmitted. The original applications were submitted, and they found the analysis missing.
Yeah, that's why I was asked to do this by
But before they
by Mount
found
Hope.
the analysis missing,
Yep,
was
Mount
a
Hope
file.
Engineering, they do more septic system work, and they do civil work as well, but they're not as well versed with Wetlands Protection Act. And maybe they should have got in touch with me earlier, but they got in touch with me eventually to get this done, and John was breathing down my throat for the last month, so, you know.
Last 4 months. 3 months.
I think the last time I saw you, you had blonde hair and you were 5 foot tall. Maybe 4'8".
My daughters say I'm shrinking. It's like, what's up, Dad?
Okay. I have no questions, I mean, no, nothing, I know what he's looking for, and,
We're trying to squeeze everything as far away as possible while still keeping within
are you all set with this?
a footprint that would be acceptable to, under the regulations.
Bill, Brendan's analysis. Thank you.
On to lot 4. Another retreat lot is immediately north of lot 3 that we just looked at. So, this is lot 4. Again, it has frontage on.
Okay, wait, I was,
Street.
to get myself oriented here,
This-
we were just dealing with over here?
No, over here.
We were just dealing with this lot, so
Bottom,
we were just looking at this lot right here.
Okay,
Now we're looking at this
all right,
lot.
okay, okay, all right, okay.
This is 3.
They're side by each, as they say.
Here's
in,
Maple Street here.
Woonsocket. Woonsocket. Close enough. Oh. My
No,
wits are out.
Maple Street goes here, I think.
On Oak Street. We're on Oak Street right now, not Maple Street.
Yeah, we're still on Oak Street.
Okay, all right, okay.
Still on Oak Street.
yeah, that entrance is right next to the other one.
Yep. Just north.
Okay, all right, okay.
Same kind of deal, retreat lot. We have a
Okay.
narrow handle going out to Oak Street. We've got a proposed 20-foot wide driveway, attached garage, septic system, municipal water service, recreational lawn, and associated grading. We shifted everything as far to the east towards the road as we possibly could. Okay, so a lot of my analysis is the same.
Same distance from Oak Street.
Just about, yeah, because the handles are the same exact length. If you look at the locus map right
Driveways
there,
are side by
Yeah.
side.
they're side by each. No rare species again. Same situation, under the no significant adverse impact section of the regulations. The total amount of riverfront area on the lot is 86,231 square feet. We're proposing to alter 8,600 square feet of the outer riparian, so we are leaving that 100-foot undisturbed strip, which isn't just BVW, it includes upland as well. And you know, we are, I think on this one, more than 150 feet away from the mean annual high water. So we're right at 10%. You know, 86,231 to 8,600 square feet, you might as well be 10%. At 9.999. Okay, so again, we're keeping it 10% or lower. We're keeping everything well more than 100 feet away from the mean annual high water line. We're proposing erosion sediment controls as well.
When you sent, I made some corrections on your, you sent it in, you said 86,231, it's actually 38,000, whatever.
176.
There was just a little problem with the numbers. This is the only lot that had a problem.
Well, I remember that, you're right, actually. You know why? It's because Mount Hope had sent me numbers and then they had to revise them. And they sent me a cheat sheet and lot 4 has 38,176
It's the original one.
on the original one.
On the original one we did. That's
She
what
had
it
me
was.
change it for some reason, but anyway, okay.
Yeah, it says 3,800 on this.
30, yeah. All right, so again, we're still at 10%.
Yeah,
Just a smaller 10%. Yes.
Yeah, well, it's all relative to how much square footage of riverfront area you have on the lot to begin with. So that's what you get to deal with,
if that's the same analysis you sent to DEP, they may question.
probably not.
Because I questioned it, I'm sure somebody will find it.
You have the time to look, though. These guys up at DEP, they're going crazy with all the applications they get.
We'll double check on it though.
Yeah. Okay. So we're still at 10% or lower.
Let me hold this up a minute. Did I hear a motion for continuing lot 3?
You might as well do them all at once.
Would be good if we close one off and start another next.
Okay, I'll make a motion then that we continue lot 3 to December.
Second.
All in favor? Okay, let's keep going on 4.
So same deal as the
Okay.
last one.
All right, I don't have any more, I don't have any questions. This is just gonna have a smaller yard around it.
Correct. To try this.
It's gonna be a 40 to 60 foot backyard, whereas the other one, you got 120.
Right, and
Right.
part of it in my years of building is we're trying to be proactive, not, obviously, we can't take more than 10%, but we try to set limits, so when I sell a property, people aren't, and who tell them, this is your limit of work, this is all you can do, these are the boundaries. So to give them a decent enough yard without them feeling they need to encroach in it in the future. In the zones that
They will
should.
realize that when they get older, that a 40 to 60 foot yard
more.
is plenty, and 100 feet is too much.
That's lot 4. Tell me about that before I got here.
Okay. I move that we continue lot 4 until our December meeting. To our December meeting.
Second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, lot 7.
You're awful slow. We're ready.
Perfection takes time.
It's all about billable hours.
I was gonna say that, but I said,
Sorry, Brandon.
This is the one that had a DEP number. 17-426.
It's not on their site anymore.
Okay. Now, this one has frontage on Oak Oak and Maple Street. But the entrance, the driveway is gonna be on Maple. And where'd my report go? Right here. So again, single-family house, 20-foot wide driveway, attached garage, septic system. This one, however, has a well, has a drinking water well.
What?
This one has a drinking water well. I guess that you have municipal water on Oak, but not on Maple.
Correct.
Okay. So now on this one, we're keeping everything as shifted as far west as possible to stay out of the riverfront area as much as we can. Everything else stays the same, no vernal pools, no rare species. We have 73,872 square feet, right? Right? Of riverfront area on this property, and we're proposing to alter 7,300. So that gets us at 9.8%. So just slightly under the 10%.
okay, I have a question here, because your
The proposed well, is that on the next lot?
No, the well is down in the south and west of the house.
This is the property line, isn't it?
Yep,
That's showing on the next door lot, but because they have to show the
The 100-foot
radiuses
radius
because
for
of
the
the
leach
septic
field.
system
The leach
setbacks
field.
and stuff. So I believe that's why they're showing it on the adjacent lot.
right,
You know, well,
right. So the septic
Okay.
system's right there, so we have to be,
So,
100 feet.
so they were able to squeeze it in with a shoehorn.
just
Oh,
about.
wait a minute.
That's for the other lot.
That's for the other lot, yeah.
Right, but
And this
we
is
need
for
to
your,
show that.
this is for this lot.
Correct.
Okay, so now my question here is, if you need a septic upgrade in 5 years, this one here, this perk is no good. This one is most marginable, and the other one's in your house.
You'd have to move as well.
Well, no, I think it would go here.
Yeah.
It would go in front
It
of
would go
that,
where this whole 7A is.
So that way.
shift it
directly in
closer to the
front of
driveway.
the other.
You can just shift it to the north and east, north and west.
Over here.
Yeah.
That's just observation.
No, it's good.
Okay, let's see. Oh, well, here's the house here. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I thought that was the house there. Okay, okay, all right, there's not a problem there. Not a problem. Okay. So again, that's 40, 60 feet of backyard.
The 7 feet, that won't be any good in the future because it's within 100 feet of the well.
7B, right.
What is it?
7B is gonna be no good because it's within 100 feet of the well.
Right, but you still have one,
Yeah, we still have.
that's good.
Seven, you have 7A, 7A is good, and 7D is marginal. If you wait too long, who knows what's gonna perk if we get too much rain.
The soils out here on all the lots were fairly consistent, which is a little better than I thought.
That's this lot.
Now, okay, I didn't look at the overall size of these lots. This one here is 7.8 acres, 7.79.
Right.
And the others are about the same.
Right, the retreat lots, I think lot 3 and 4 need to be, I think, 8 or 8.25 acres,
Yeah.
a minimum of an acre contiguous upland to meet their retreat lot law by
Yeah.
law.
Okay.
Questions? Charlie?
No questions.
Jim?
Nope. Okay, I move that we continue with lot 7 to our December meeting.
Second.
All in favor? That's lot seven.
Flush?
Now on to John Prairie's on lot 9.
We got lot 10, haven't
We do, but I got lot 9 first,
we? Okay.
which is not John DeValley, it's John Prairie.
If you want, you can skip prairies and go to John's. Doesn't matter to me.
Fine, I can leave Brandon here by himself. I won't leave up to you.
What's the next lot, Brandon?
Do lot 10.
We're gonna do lot 10.
Then we'll go back.
Okay.
Now, this one's a little more interesting.
Very interesting.
Yes. There's no riverfront analysis because we're not in the riverfront area. However, there's a vernal pool across the street to the north, on property north, and
So 10 must be on Maple.
Yep.
Before we get into this, there was no 50-foot mark on the plan, so I put one in. It's not engineered and accurate, but there's a 25, 50, and 100 under our bylaw, right?
Over here.
Okay.
That's a 25, this is the 50 that wasn't put in, and this is a 100 foot. This is the vernal pool. 25, 50.
That's your jurisdictional vernal pool. The actual water is over here.
Yes.
And
I
then you
understand.
have that 100-foot zone around it.
Right. I
It's a
know that.
regulatory vernal pool that might as well be the vernal pool.
Okay.
And then you have a 100-foot buffer zone beyond
Right, and we
that.
have, in our bylaws, 25, 50, and 100. The 50 was left off, I put it in just for my, and it goes through the house. It wasn't designed in, Mount Hope didn't put it in.
Okay.
So we can have that added and
Yeah,
submitted
we can have that
before
added.
the
We-
next
we-
meeting.
yes.
But that's gotta be moved a bit. Because it looks to me, I might be wrong, I know you said it was a ruler, you said 1 inch was 20 feet,
on your hand, I just want to see.
that's it.
That's 10 over there.
Because you want 50-foot no structure?
That's what we're doing. This
Yeah,
is
it's a
10
no,
now.
it's a no build zone,
I thought that was.
it's a 50-foot mark.
After the 100-foot mark?
That's
Yes,
the vernal pool.
that's the vernal pool.
Under our bylaw, the vernal pool is 100 feet around the high water mark. The high water mark is over here.
Correct, so this first 100 feet is a no-touch zone, am I correct?
That's
It's the vernal pool.
yes.
Oh, that whole
That
zone 100 feet
Is the vernal
beyond?
pool by our bylaw.
Yeah, it's a vernal pool under our bylaw.
Okay, I'm just trying to
Yeah,
grasp the
no, that's
concept.
fine.
Thank you.
Just, that's the explanation. And it's a 20-foot no-touch zone around every buffer zone,
Yep,
Right.
and a 50-foot no-build zone, and a 100-foot buffer zone that's required in the Wetland Act. The Wetland Act doesn't have these two. That's part of the Wetland Act.
wait, so this is Dayton, your guys' bylaws?
Right.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay,
So-
so this, you're saying, can't be encroaching into that, and it needs to get out of
Yeah,
there?
the house needs to get out. Well,
You know, let's say it only needs to be
5 feet.
10 feet.
Well, you need
10
enough
feet.
for grading and stuff.
you wanna have a plan that shows the 50-foot mark, not
Yep.
one that I've got
I
it in.
thought we had that, but,
No.
okay.
John Purry's doesn't have it either.
This is, wait, a minute, this is 9.
No, we're doing 10, we jumped over prairies on 9.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so we have to add that and make a few
Because the original
modifications.
showed a well over here, it was different. The original application,
Yep,
this is an amended application.
Will the well in that 50-foot?
The well was over here, the
Yeah.
well was over here on the original.
I think they moved the septic, whether it was from
Yeah,
the
the
front
septic was
over to here,
different,
so
too.
to get the setbacks, I think it's
Right.
jockeyed it
Yep.
around.
So is the well gonna be all right where it is?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, this well is okay.
yeah.
That's
And I think we've proven that we have no other way in. We gotta encroach into that a little bit to get a driveway in. No other way in
That's
around.
not an issue.
Okay,
The issue is that there
Like
was no
structures.
50-foot mark on the plan.
yeah.
Okay, so we need to show this and jockey the house location so it's not encroaching in that zone. Got it, sir.
10 feet or something, 5 feet, 10 feet.
Well, we gotta do enough for grading depending on our elevation, so we might have to go back a little
But I
further.
just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, no,
No, I appreciate it. I'd
it's
rather
good.
know now.
But okay, that's no structures. There, I guess you could do a minimal amount of
If-
grading.
As long as we show it on the
The
plan.
house is a structure. The house
No, that's what
is-
I'm saying, but I'm saying, you gotta move the structure out of the 50-foot zone, but a little bit of
For grading, could
grading
still come into the
could
zone
be
as long
done.
as we
Grading,
show it. Okay, I'm just being clear, because this is kinda a little
No,
new to me,
grading
so.
doesn't affect it.
Okay, well, that's good to know. We'll get that in pronto.
Yeah, and I don't think it's not a huge change, but a little bit.
That's fine.
No, but
I'll make the note.
we have the time, so we'll get that in ASAP.
I'm just trying to earn some more money for
He does all right. Him and I used to be in the woods together, getting bit by ticks.
Yeah, getting Lyme disease together.
Well, yeah, I heard that. Well, I've been,
Bad out there.
okay.
Thank you for pointing that out so we can make the modifications.
why I
Okay,
didn't
10,
box.
that's 10.
Yeah, right.
Wait a minute. No, just, this is 10. This is lot 10 on his plan.
Yeah, okay, so that's your, okay, I need,
Now what are you gonna do for us, Brendan?
We're gonna do lot 9.
And then we'll be out of your guys here.
okay, I make the motion that we continue lot 10 to our December meeting, and they will make modifications on their design.
Revise the plan.
And they will, right.
Yeah, we'll get that in front.
All in favor?
Aye.
Sounds like he's gonna have to send
Now, Joe, he's getting that, did I have your children in school?
I don't, when did you retire?
07.
Skip down.
Taylor is 24, Ashland is 30.
Maybe, yeah, I don't know.
I had my brothers and sisters, Michael, Deirdre, Jennifer,
Yeah.
Brian,
Yeah,
born into the third generation into the school system. I can't believe it.
I never had my grandchildren when he was 22. He was four, he was in fourth grade when he retired. So that was fifth, sixth grade.
You one of the students?
Yes. And I had,
boy.
I saw him at one of the meetings when we were doing the ANORAD, but I wasn't sure, and then I've heard your name a few times, so. He remembered me because he put me in detention all the time.
How does that not
There's no
surprise
water
me?
on
They don't
Maple
stop.
Trunk Road.
No.
No water on Maple Trunk Road?
No, it's wells.
No water on
Range,
this.
Oh, there's riverfront area. There's, the BVW cuts through the very southeast
This is Oak Street again.
part of the property. So all the work's outside of the BVW that's on site. We are cutting into the outer riparian zone a little bit, keeping under 10% total disturbance on
And this
the
one has the
riverfront.
same problem.
And this one has the same issue with
50 foot.
vernal pool. Yeah, so you got it nice and color coded.
Where's the vernal pool here?
25, 50. It misses the house.
Oh, yeah, okay, here
On
it
the
is.
other side of
And it doesn't show
Maple
on the
Street.
plan.
Okay.
Just outside.
If you follow that line,
Okay,
you'll pick up
so the
lot
vernal-
9, lot
okay,
9.
so
over
there-
There's
here.
no problem with
there's
this
the-
one,
that's
except
the
it
vernal
should show
pool.
a 50-foot.
It just shows that that's not encroaching into it.
They're-
Yeah, okay.
We'll show the
And
50-foot
there's no
zone.
well.
Okay, so they should be far enough away here. House is here.
Do your homework, I'm impressed.
I looked everywhere, there's no well on this lot.
Well, the people aren't gonna be happy if they don't have a well.
Not happy.
Oh, yes, there is. What is this? Oh, that's septic.
There's water out there though, right?
Oh, that's a test pit.
Not on Maple.
Test pit.
I know what they do.
All right, so he doesn't have a well location.
Show well, show the 50-foot line on the vernal pool. Just to give you the numbers.
John's so happy with his lot across the street, he didn't care whether they have a well over here or not.
Yeah.
They go across the street, there's a fire pond over there, they can take a bucket and get
You
water.
can't, it's a vernal pool, you can't touch it.
No.
That's where we're getting all these zones.
What's gonna happen in April? You're gonna suck up all the salamander eggs. So we got 33,218 square feet of riverfront area on this lot, so we're proposing to disturb 3,300. There's 9.9, you could round it up to 10%, but we're not going beyond that, so we're within our regulatory bounds on that.
One of them was actually 10.3%,
No,
but I just crossed it off. I went on the calculator and I said, God damn it, Brandon.
no, I
John
kept
doesn't
them
know
all
math.
under 10%.
I always was kinda good at math, that helped me in building over
You
the
know, I
years.
remember that.
A lot of things I
I
wasn't,
remember
but
that.
math
You were
I
better
did
at
all
that
right.
than geography.
Well, yet you are correct, but when I got to trigonometry, I was not so good.
All right, so in this one, we gotta put up the 50-foot line.
Okay, right now you have the proposed, okay, you need the line for the 50-foot.
Yes.
Now, you don't have construction the way it looks in the 50-foot. No, the garage is just outside of it.
Right. Right, we're putting a driveway in, but, I mean, that's the only spot for it, really. Without encroaching further into the riverfront area,
Yeah.
so it's like pick your poison.
Now, how big is this lot? I know, if I look around, I'll see it.
It's a little over an acre.
1.08 acres, 47,094 square feet.
A lot of mowing work, because they're not gonna do the whole thing.
Oh. Charge for this?
It's yours. Was it lot 4 that I screwed up on the numbers?
I think Missy did something.
She did. She
That's why you shouldn't listen.
didn't, she only thought it was the outer riparian zone that you count? I said, no, it's the entire riverfront area, the entire lot. She did,
Well, it is
so it's lot 4 that I got wrong.
9.99.
Well, you had it right on that, though.
On what, on this?
You
Yeah,
had it right
on this I had it right, but I put it wrong in the report.
When the riverfront area is measured, is that the length of, along the river times 100 feet?
It's the width, so basically you take the spot where the mean annual high water flag is,
Yeah.
you go out perpendicularly to the line. As
So how far?
200 feet,
200 feet.
without regard for topography.
Okay,
So if
Okay.
it goes uphill, it's not uphill 200 feet, because then it's gonna be short.
yeah,
You go straight into the hill.
okay. So it's the length along the
Length
river
along,
and
then
200 feet?
Then perpendicular from that line.
Yeah, okay, 200, okay.
And we feel good about it because we did the ORAD ahead of time.
Yeah. So that's 100, roughly 170 feet along the river there.
Well, I guess we'll see you guys in a month.
I move that we continue lot 9 to December meeting.
Revised plan, well,
Revised plan as well shown.
And we'll get that in quickly.
Second that.
Aye.
Gentlemen, thank you for your time. Have a good evening.
Thank you so
Nice
much.
seeing you.
Yeah, it's been
Get some
40,
rest.
50 years.
So,
Left
you
the house
guys
at
have been
7:30
on
this
this
morning.
board and commission that
No,
long?
7 o'clock. this morning.
Usually 75?
I'm 75, he's 74, he's 73, and these are the young guys that.
You guys are lines for
Do that
abuse.
kind of work.
I was on Board of Health in
Take
Rehoboth
some
for 10
time,
years,
take
and
some
that was a lot.
In February.
I know.
I built
Yeah,
the house
this is
in
excellent.
1978,
You know, and
This
also,
and the
past-
Conservation Commission just.
My
mother-in-law
the
same way, she has rheumatism.
John,
It's not so
I
much
said
the
that
cold,
beyond the
it's the
commission, too.
change, like when a
we've been
front
able
comes
to
through.
get property.
That's what kills me.
No, that doesn't bother me, it's, I got it all the time, but the colder it is, the worse it is.
Yeah, we've done it
It
in
took
the
me-
old Wisconsin
it took
parcels. I
me
don't know if you remember Adam
15,
Latham,
20
he's
minutes
on,
before I got
Adam
to
Latham,
the
yes, I
Parks and
do.
Recreation, and we
Yep, I
we
remember
worked
that.
in, the eastern box turtle
Anyway,
zone,
say hello
and we gave
someday.
27 acres as part of their
Yeah,
habitat and stuff.
Of course, I'm more familiar with his father,
It's a
Russ.
lot better than
Russ, I did a lot
The old
with
town
him.
hall is nicer than the new town hall.
Last week, that's not.
I'm gonna enjoy this much better than the
Oh,
old one.
Russ is
This
like
is a great one.
Earl Dias and a lot of these older timers that
No,
still do
well,
a
we
lot
found
with
it
the
one.
Lions, and the younger guys come and go, and they're in their ears, and they still
I will.
do what they can do.
You don't have much of an office downstairs.
Now this guy here's in ours is getting a lot of land along
It's
Broad
an
Road.
office.
Yeah.
Is this all been recently redone?
We.
There's no Grange Hall, the town of Gordon's.
It seemed like an old Grange Hall.
Maybe more.
And good
And,
offices.
Was that buying out the development rights?
No, this, now they just did a great job.
sometimes we buy land after.
Not to get people to come in.
And we get people that don't need it. They want
She's
to-
gonna have a building
I would,
and all that stuff, I'm all for it. I would have done a lot of it.
Leave a legacy to your family.
And I like the
Don't
window
let
frame
somebody buy it and put houses on it.
style.
But the thing is too, it's like, I grew up in the woods, you know, going out, and it's like trails, and do it with my kids, my grandkids now. and That's how I grew up, and these kids today, they don't do that stuff, and that's part of the problem. We got out of school, I tear right into the Palmer River, and right through the woods, over to the Greer property, and the congregation church.
Busy as a one-legged man in sack race. Building the empire.
There's a lady that called me.
Lisa, the office manager.
I said, "Say, you already said something. Take the books away from him and tell him to go
She
run."
takes care of all my
Go get some backhoes and bolt trucks.
She does some running around with me, you know, she's.
Get a bonfire going on, a sleeper bag, and hang out there.
Still have that young man?
I have a new young man.
It's not where I was going to school.
His name's Bruce, he's from Nova Scotia,
Oh,
so this is like a whole other thing.
If you want to go like in Providence or whatever, which I don't have long, I used to, my daughter lives in Boston. Our last one, Boston's
Yeah,
cows, pigs,
it's like
we've always had more
everybody else,
chickens
like
for the fresh eggs. I
This
love it.
particular field, there's not many people who say next month, and they don't
Yeah,
exactly
still got it,
have,
still
you know,
going.
college.
Oh, yeah, I still have a big
majors.
veg garden. My
You come
daughter
into
likes
this
to
kind of
all
something
tomatoes.
back door.
Okay,
He got a degree in geology.
I'm building or something, and then.
Okay, what do we
it's like
have now?
parallel.
I didn't think it was.
Just that letter.
There's some things that overlap.
Clock, for me.
No, I'm only kidding. I still gotta drive like 2 hours.
There's a bull's
Oh,
eye.
no, he'll stop, have a couple of drinks, and he'll still be on the clock, so I get.
You want me to be at my best?
He's begging your opinion. Don't fiddle it off.
Hey, not for nothing. When he was under the tutelage of Walter Hewitson, because I used to follow Walter through
You
the,
went for Walter?
Everybody was under the tutelage of.
I used to tear through the woods with him, he'd be all ripped up, and he would just be going.
Wait a minute, but he had a new version of trees, didn't he? Walter did, down on William Street, the trees that were planted.
Yes.
I think that's an inside one.
That's an inside one, yes.
All right, guys,
Probably
thank you.
get roads, you got good boots.
Have a good one. Thank you.
I was a reason why I got a lot of jobs because I didn't like to go through the rose bushes. So instead of going down the hill at the bottom of the slope where it was really thick with thorns, he just walked up top at the edge of the field and just walk around it good enough. And then, you know, the people who really, you know, needed it tight, then they'd call the young guy, and I'd go in there and stop bleeding and get it done, you know, give them maybe, you know, 10 extra feet. And then people started calling me more and more.
Walter was the guy,
He was the man.
he was the man.
Yeah. I have a letter that he did a peer review for the town of Somerset on delineation I did, and he wrote a glowing letter about how well I did, and I framed it. It's still on my office wall.
Gotta keep it.
You already gone?
No, he's there waiting for you.
Get back to business,
You're off
man.
the clock, you're off the clock.
Good night, Brandon.
Good night. Hey, this is also on the clock.
I want to make sure he's not staying an extra hour talking, billing me.
Okay,
Where's this letter that we received, Charlie?
it's here. You got it in your folder.
Oh,
It's
okay.
here.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
Forest legacy designation in your town would allow access to another funding source for potential forest conservation projects that involve willing private owners. There's no regulatory structure imposed on the area.
Okay. Discuss it.
I don't know what our part would really be in this.
Now you can see why Hill Law came, wanted this little letter.
Well, Jim's talking about cutting trees, Charlie. He
What?
skipped over that. Jim skipped over the thing there from Hill Law.
Yeah, DCR. It starts off with Hill Law, goes to, DCR, yeah, we skipped that, I'm sorry.
Well, we skipped over Hill Law first, and he went right to the back.
We were so anxious to get a letter from us stating that other parcel wasn't gonna be built.
Yeah.
It's because of this. Hill Law, we're taking it to the, with a, if you read all Hill's,
I was looking at them, you were saying, well, there's more land on there, but if they're not gonna develop that,
I mean, but that's the reason why. I just put it in there for that reason.
yeah,
So you would know that there was a reason for his application, and that was the reason.
yeah.
We
Yeah.
might have been better off to just not done it, because we're gonna have to deal with him in the future, and I don't know if that's ever gonna be used against us.
Well, no, it can't be, because we did not delineate that.
Never say never.
Yeah.
He is a really slick, oily guy.
Hey,
Yeah, DCR was a different one, yep.
yeah, DCR, they want us to agree to something to get funding?
DCR is looking for a letter from us approving their, whatever designation they're gonna give the town of Dayton. If you look in the last page, you'll
Forest
see a
Legacy
plan.
Program.
Yeah. If you look at the last page, you'll see all the towns that are gonna be included in this new, program, last page.
Yeah,
The
See-
ones that aren't in green are the ones that are gonna be included in this new, they're looking to get more funding, that's what they're after. And if they get a letter from us, it helps them with the, request. But it'll also make it a little easier for people with, forests in this area.
Pretty easy anyway, Charlie. It's pretty easy anyway. All you had to do was apply, have some forest land, and if you could get a forester, you were all set.
You still have the same forester?
I have no idea, I doubt it. I doubt it, because Joe, you know what I mean, he was.
Is he retired?
I would say,
I haven't heard from him in a long
no,
time.
I haven't either, you know, I was thinking of that today, I went out 195, and they posted Haskell Swamp out there.
I saw that.
You know what I mean, all along the highway, and, you know, I was thinking of Phil Benjamin and Mike Bossier, and, you know, those guys too, and I don't know, if they might still be around, but I don't know, you know. But, every time anybody went to do anything, you know what I mean? Everybody thought you were asking to violate themselves or whatever, it's, they're cutting trees. It's a renewable resource. But,
what's your pleasure on that?
I'm in favor of sending a letter to him. Yep. Saying that we agree with whatever they're looking for. If there's money to be made somewhere, we might as well get in on it. Or if it makes it easier for landowners to get money,
Yeah,
there's no
they're,
reason
they're
why we
looking to
shouldn't.
get funds probably from the state. And You gotta find out what they're gonna do with them. That's all, so.
Yeah, we gotta hurry up and get everything from the state, because Deval Patrick's gonna run for president.
What are you stealing my paper clip?
A big
Huh?
fly.
Yeah, no way.
So is there a motion for,
Okay, I make a motion that we send a letter to the DCR.
Agreeing
on
with
the
their-
Forest Legacy Program,
No,
accepting the Forest
Go.
Legacy Program.
Yep.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Where you go, Charlie?
now,
Okay, so,
for the last motion of adjournment?
I'll entertain a motion of that anytime. I would have done that a half hour ago.
Better give me a time.
9:02.
9:02.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Who first?
Jim?